Stirring the coffee with a chopstick and Opinel number 8 knife using the Vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. Strap your ass in, because it is going to be one hell of a ride today. But first, coffee. Nice. Just as I expected. Recovery from grief is an exercise in storytelling. You don't get near feeling normal again until you can package and encapsulate your story. But then again, you may always wear that grief an inch below the surface of your smile. It may transform who you fundamentally are. There's something about the faces of people who have been through a lot of loss and a lot of pain. I can see it on their faces. Recovery from grief is an exercise in storytelling. How do you tell your story of loss and pain and grief? How do you tell the story? Until you can tell the story, you can never start the recovery. For those that have businesses and those that are involved in revenue in their companies, the clearer you are about who your audience is, the quicker you will reach your goals. Every marketer and salesperson will tell you that you can't market to everybody. Clarity as to who you are reaching will lead to profit and independence for you. Who are you trying to reach? Those of you that are in sales and marketing, who are you trying to reach specifically? If I sat down with you, I would bring it down right to the hair color and eye color. Bring it right down to as specific as we can get. In relationships, enhanced accountability. It's a concept that should be expected and practiced. It's a good thing. Enhanced accountability is a good thing. If you are not ready to be accountable, you are not ready to be in a relationship. If you fight being accountable, I encourage your partner, which is a term that I hate using, but I would encourage them to leave you if you are fighting accountability. You don't have to trust anyone, but you don't have to be paranoid either. Trusting and verifying go hand in hand. Keep that in mind. Having just blind faith, blind trust in somebody, it's an exercise in foolishness. You trust and verify. Attention criminals, please be nicer. Okay? Police everywhere are taught to be nicer, so you need to be a little bit nicer, okay? All right, thank you. 9 times out of 10, the media and the public give a guilty verdict before all facts are out. Happens all the time. It's pretty selective, isn't it? We're talking about a gentleman who had a cop's knee on his neck after he was restrained and handcuffed. Was that wrong? Yeah, he was wrong. Let's just teach you something about overcoming things in situations like that. You do just enough to overcome the person that you're placing under arrest. And then you are detaining them by restraining them. And then once the restraints are in place, you maintain. Detain, restrain, maintain. There's a balance. For instance, you don't kill a mosquito with a shotgun. Why? It's too much power, too much force. If a mosquito lands on you, you just kind of go like that. Because what happens? There's a ton of collateral damage. It's overkill, literally overkill. A person is getting placed under arrest for whatever reason that a law enforcement officer deems necessary. The person's being detained. If they resisting arrest, then they are restrained. And that restraint can be anything from handcuffs to shackles to being put in the back of a squad car with no way of getting out. Now, once a person is in restraints, then there's maintenance of the person. The maintenance, first of all, a person is arrested and detained for a number of reasons. If the police officer is in fear for his life, if the public is in danger of being hurt or somebody seriously hurt or killed, and then thirdly, for the safety of the person, the perpetrator themselves, who may want to hurt themselves. Let's think about the maintenance, phase 3. Maintenance. A handcuffed person is not going to be a threat to a police officer. It's okay. We keep the fists from flying. The public is not going to be in danger or threatened in any way during this maintenance period, after the cuffs are on, after the restraints are there. Then you have to think about the person. Are they going to hurt themselves? The maintenance keeps them from hurting themselves as well. That's part of the duty of law enforcement as well. People in the back of a police car, I've seen them smash their heads against the window. Not a lot you can do about that. That eventually does stop because a person will knock themselves out. I've seen people bang their head on the pavement, on the concrete, and it's the officer's job to stop them from hurting themselves, where you would put a restraining hand on the person's head to keep them from banging themselves, not on their neck. The knee, boot, or hand on the neck is overkill. If a person is in danger of hurting themselves, part of that maintenance is keeping them from banging their head with your hand. And an officer might say, "I'm not touching that piece of shit." Sir, it is your job to keep that person from hurting themselves. Your lack of care and concern in general truly disturbs me. On to other things. 49 people were shot in Chicago this past weekend. 10 of those that were shot died. Zero fucking outrage. You see the difference now between true outrage and selective outrage? That's normal in Chicago, isn't it? It happens every weekend. Every freaking weekend. Yet we don't hear anyone say anything. There was a white elderly man pummeled by a black dude. You didn't hear much about that. You had to kind of look for that, didn't you? But then the raw video's out there. Selective outrage. Are these things problems? Yes, they are. Is there injustice? Yes, there is. Absolutely. But why do we selectively get outraged over some versus others? Is the knee on the neck of a black man in Minneapolis more horrific than 49 people shot, 10 killed in Chicago, and 10 mothers losing their children to black-on-black crime? What's worse? If you think one is worse than the other, then you are a participant of selective outrage, fake outrage. I would encourage you to let righteous anger come out of you for all of those things. They all suck. The 49 people shot in Chicago this past weekend, the 10 that died, the elderly man that got pummeled by the black man, the black man in Minneapolis with the knee on his neck, they all make me sick. They all bring out a righteous anger in me. They all make me want to be judge, jury, and executioner. But there's a system in the United States called due process, in investigation, in discovery, where all the facts have to come out before any judgment is made. And then verdicts are given. So in Minneapolis, as in many situations, they looted much of the downtown area. The black community did. Nothing shows your outrage like looting a retail store, acting like freaking animals. Good job. Good job, Minneapolis. How come there was no looting of stores in Chicago over the 10 people that were killed and the 49 shot? How come elderly white people and their adult children didn't loot and riot when a young black man pummeled the fucking shit out of a elderly man in bed? The world is fucking upside down. And you have to admit it. I'm telling you the right thing here. Have righteous indignation about all deaths, about all injustice, not just what suits you or your skin color or your demographic or your gender. It's okay. It's okay to be mad, righteously mad at injustice across the board. Don't select your anger to suit your needs. It's okay to be angry at Chicago. It's okay to be angry at the nursing home. It's okay to be angry at the streets of Minneapolis. You have my permission to be pissed off, but you also have my permission, if you're a young man, to go to the police academy and become a police officer and be the change that you are demanding. I want you to do that. If you live in Chicago, you be the change. Become a police officer. Become a community streets organizer. Be a ambassador of peace wherever you are, not just a person sitting in judgment. Do you know why these situations exist? Because there is no sanity, clarity, or reason. That's why I talk about the principles of sanity, clarity, and reason. That's why I talk about stoicism and not reactionism to these things. Not everyone is going to buy the gospel of Christ, which I believe in, but it's not my job to force that down your throat into your mind. Not everyone is going to receive that. And because I know that, I also talk about sanity, clarity, and reason, which is needed in cities all across the world. Who do you trust more, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, as far as allowing the truth to be displayed? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or none of them? I'd like to see your vote down below. I'm going to create a poll on Twitter. And with that, finish your coffee, and I'll see you tomorrow on the Daybreak Show, your daily dose of sanity, clarity, and reason.